I am now.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Marty, how are you?
Super fantastic.
You know, I'll share a quick story with everybody about the trip. I got the phone call from, I think, Marty, and it was
P,
yeah.
would you please say that? I'd like you to start. I'd like you to share it. We're gonna start the show, and I'd like you to share. Do you have a lot of time with us tonight?
Yeah, I'm off tonight, Julie. I got all the time.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. I would like you to share it when we come to that session, that part of you sharing, okay?
Sure, be glad to.
Yes, I would love to hear from you. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is April 6th, 2022. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie. I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. My dear friend Milo is trying to get on the Zoom here with us. He will be with us shortly. Welcome all our friends from all around the world joining us here on Zoom, and also thank you everyone for tuning in from YouTube. We're glad that you are here. If you are joining us from YouTube, from many channels of Unpassive, if you could please, if you haven't done so, please click the subscribe button and the bell so that you can get notification every time when we do have live stream coming from Unpassive and all our friends around the world. Thank you so much for everyone for being here. As we all understand, we are coming back from a mega global event on March 30th. And right at the end of the meeting, Milo and I was able to grab Mr. Ash Muffar and had him sit down with us and share his love, his passion, and all that is going on behind the scene and his thought and his mind. So today we are going to replay that message in clips. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play the clip, and then I like to have all our friends here on Zoom to tune in. At that time, if you would, please raise your hands and kind of hear his message and let us know what's your thought and what you learned from there, and what's your thought listening to his message. And every time if you raise your hands, you have about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. It depends on the amount of people are raising their hands and would like to speak. Would love for you to tune in. Thank you so much everyone for being here. If you are on camera and you'll be able to turn on your camera, it would be very lovely for you to turn on your camera and sit up properly, and we can have this conversation today. So I would like to play the very first clip about the conversation that we have with Mr. Ash Muffar. I'm not going to share the Zoom, however, I'm just going to play it. We all can hear it from our end. So this very first clip that we are playing, Milo had asked Mr. Ash Muffar about who he is and a little bit about Unpassive. So here you go.
Just your friend, and I just like positive things. I like good deeds in life, and I don't have time to waste it on mediocrity or little things, petty things. I don't have time to talk about negativity or gossip or any of the things that I cannot change. So when I see something that needs improvement, I take action. I cannot complain if I cannot do anything about it. It's easy to blame or to take, to kind of like give excuses, but if you don't like something, change it. And a lot of people say, I wish I had the opportunity. I wish I was lucky. No, you create luck. You create the opportunity if it doesn't exist. Good is there. Good hearts are there everywhere. And they just need a good igniter. I like to be that person to enable people. I don't make people. I don't invent hearts. I just believe this is what we should focus on. Everybody, absolutely everybody. on planet Earth has some good in them. I'm sure we have things may not be that good. That's not my department. I want to focus on the good in people, bring the best out of them. I think I want to start with how things, inspire me. I just believe we can do more in any department. We can do more. I believe we have so much capacity as human beings. We have incredible energy and potential if we just push ourselves a little bit. It's possible. And if we can think it, it's possible. But it's only a dream or a fantasy if you don't take action. And I may not change the world entirely, but if I can make an impact, even in someone's world, and I don't have to dramatically change it, but if I make a little positivity or positive improvement in their life, I've done something good. Watch. I'm not at least I'm not adding any burden, any negativity to the world the way it is. Just leave that alone. Do something good. Whether you can do it every day, if you get good at it, you can do it every day, or at least once a lifetime. Do something good because you're a human being. That's what I think. My heart is filled with love and confidence that everyone has that, and we just want to work in every possible dimension to bring that good out of people. And I think we succeeded to do that. Obviously, statistics and numbers, they don't lie. We have well over 1.2 million global founders at every corner of the planet. That is telling. It's telling us something. So people are looking for a change. We are incredibly confident that we're above average, and we will bring more out of people. And now we've replicated our inspiration and our influence to multiple generations. Started with me. I think Milo likes to say that, but one person at a time. And now these incredible leaders also replicating, inspiring, and influencing others that are also bringing influence. And you see, we're all connected, but somebody has to shake up the cage and break the boxes and all the barriers and create that seed of a movement. And I believe it's on with Unpassive. It's hard to believe we could be, no matter how we try. My heart and my brain is completely convicted that if we bring 1% out of every human from their unused potential, 1% from a large number, it's impactful. Can you imagine if we do more? And most people, sadly, they leave Earth. They have a lot of potential, so much energy and good in them that unfortunately get buried. It's a waste. So before it's too late, we have to catch the wave and make sure we awaken those hearts and minds and give that boost of energy to everyone, such as Unpassive. We're the tool, we're the vehicle. We don't make people, people are there. We just want to enable, try to extract that 1% of everyone. I believe people have more to offer. After my experience with Unpassive, I thought I'll be happy, thrilled if we get a 1% from a large crowd. It would be incredible, but I see that it is really, really realistic to dream bigger and think more. I think we're going to get more than 1% from a larger crowd. So I see you happy. This is a special day. Why are you excited, Milo?
Perfect. That was an awesome message, and I like to hear a lot of your view on it. One thing that really stand out for me when I hear this message is that, you know, you do a little bit more, right? You're pushing a little bit more. You push yourself out of the comfort zone, and to be able to say and do a lot of this. I see that we have so many founders around the world, and I wanted to congratulate some of these individuals that I do know them personally, know their stories, know where they're coming, and know how much they are pushing out. Right? First of all, Pat Parent. Everybody know Pat Parent, and everybody know the situation she's in, the health struggles, and all of that is going, and she's pushing herself every single day. I mean, now you are seeing herself doing live every day. She is one of the role model and one of the superstars that I like to mention. I also like to mention David Schweitzer, right? David Schweitzer, about a year ago, I got to know him. He was the guy who said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I can't do this. I can't do that. Can you imagine right now he is doing a video of himself. He talked about it. He pushed it. He does live. That's David. That's our David Schweitzer, right? And then you see Cynthia Brown. You know this woman, she is like the first supporter of the Julie and Milo show, and I love her dearly. Was so glad seeing her, meeting her in person, hugging her. And every time I see her, she's like, oh, my Julie, right? She just full of that energy and the love, and she just pushing herself. Her hand was so painful when you were there, but you'd never seen her complain. And then another individual that I like to bring out, and there are so many people like that, right? There are so many people that just pushing a little bit harder. And I believe Muhammad Kamal was another person who pushes a little harder. I mean, imagine knowing what he knows, being a founder of OnPassive, but then he took the mission that Mr. Ashmul Farah see the purpose, and seeing him having the same soul and mind and arms and legs of Mr. Ashmul Farah, and Mr. Muhammad Kamal actually accepted Mr. Ashmul request just to get terminated from the founder position and take the role of the chief operations of the office. I mean, I think a lot of these people are doing, and many people that I'm not able to mention here, truly have pushed yourself out there. And I just wanted to say, you are the rock stars and you are the superstars of OnPassive. Milo, I see that you are joining us now on the phone. Do you have anything to say after listening to the clip that was played? Milo? You're muted, Milo.
It was great sitting there with Ash, and, I couldn't believe that he accepted, and he wanted to do the live with me. I even went back and said, hey, if we don't have time, it's okay. But I'm glad that we did get to do it. It went down in history. And also, like I said, when Ash said, hey, Milo, what are you excited about? I said, I'm excited about sitting here next to you, number one, and to be part of OnPassive. And to know that, when this started out, we start out thinking that it's about, what it's going to do for us, but it becomes a lot bigger when our heart and our minds get together, and Ash said, he might not be able to change the world, but he could change somebody's world. And I'm glad he changed mine, and as a founders, we start changing everyone's world. We do our little part, and that's the way this is growing, and it's growing bigger and bigger. And you mentioned some names there, Pat and David and some of them, and even, Muhammad and stuff. And when we talk to them, it's great to talk to them, and we realize, that their minds and their hearts are getting together. And it's not anymore about what it's going to do for us. It's about what it's going to do for humanity. It's a great movement to be in, Julie. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's on the show. Sorry, I'm a little handicapped today, but I'm here.
Awesome, Milo. Thank you so much. Anyone would like to speak? I'm probably going to take about 3 hands raised, hopefully. And then we have other clips that we are going to play. And would love for you to chime in as well. Anyone would like to do that? If not, we're going to move on to the next clip that I have prepared. Key, you have your hand raised. Key, is he in the room or is he? Okay. Key, go ahead, Key. I'd love to hear from you, Key.
You want me to share now, Julie?
I would like you, because what I'm doing right now, Key, is I'm going to play the whole entire the conversation, just Ash's part, and then I'm going to go into the people that are traveling. So
okay,
if you
later,
don't mind,
I'll come back later.
thank you. I just want more of your time, and if you have short time, then we'll have you.
I'm here till you sign off.
All right, perfect. I love it, Key. I'm so glad you're here with us today, though. I can't wait to have you share that with us. Thank you. All right, Sandra.
Yes, hello everyone. As Ash said, if we can think it, it's possible. And we must be positive. So that is really important to just think about it. And we know we can do it and just think positive. So that was one of the main points I got from it.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you can think it, do it. And that's how I like to do. Milo, do you have anything else to say before I go on to the next clip?
Nope, I'm ready for the next one.
All right. So the next one, what he's saying is, the question that I asked him at that time was, it takes someone to decide what to do, and it takes him to decide to have everything that is being done in on passive and then in the event as well. And I said, it must have been a lot of work preparing for that global mega event. And I said, if he could please go through how much work that he and his team being put behind the scene, and I'd like him to speak about it. So here it is.
Can you please tell us a little?
Yeah, absolutely. I love work. I love because my work is by design. I'm not working for anybody. I'm working for the people I love, for human race, and that moves me. So how could you run out of energy? If I sit down and calculate, would I be able to work this many hours and put this in any job? Impossible. I wouldn't choose that. But when your emotions are drawn by a good cause, a good purpose in your life, I don't think you have a choice. It just keeps you moving. It's a big drive that I have. And I don't have time to look around or to calculate the hours. I don't run that way. It just, I'm on it until it's done. And as long as I can give. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes it is harder to envision it theoretically. And you think, no, how could you do that? But sometimes you just have to take one step. And that step is going to clear up the next step. Okay, now we can go that direction or this direction. And then you take it from there. So at least take the first step. You don't have to have it through all the way, but take the first step and that will lead you. Okay, you don't know who's going to team up with you. You don't know with time you're going to get better. Okay, if you're motivated by what you do. So I don't think I'm doing something typical. That's why I do believe it's not a choice. I don't think I will put typical hours or something average. I'm all for it. I'm just motivated. I cannot do it by myself, but I think I do my best to encourage those who are around me, whether staff, founders, anybody that I come across, to get the best in them. And you don't know, when they try it and they take a little bit, they're comfortable, yeah, it feels good, then they go further. So I've seen so much improvement and so much change in so many of our individual founders. That is refreshing. So you start, don't have any expectation, don't have any judgment to anyone. That's like not possible to lift up, or they have way to go. You never know. I've got brilliant ideas. I've got amazing knowledge and breakthroughs from people I've never expected they would contribute to the process. So it just an amazing, accomplishment when you are able to move people, and that's a responsibility. That's an accountability. So it's no longer my personal choice, my physical needs. I have to put that aside and focus on the bigger mission. I cannot let them down. I have to do it. And I think now we're unstoppable. Even if I choose to slow down, it's in good hands. I agree with you. If you think.
What's your thought on that, everyone? As we all know that there are so many darts shooting at Mr. Ashmafar. We all have seen it. It's negative stuff, things that are coming at his way. But he is so focused, so committed, right, to push it forward. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts. First, Milo, do you have any thoughts with that first, and then we'll call on Engineering Mike?
No, just that, it's not an easy job, and we have to, we are going to have struggles. We are going to have things that don't go right, but we can push forward, and we did that. And now we're at a point where, like he said, even if he wanted to stop it, he probably can't, because we've all bought into that.
For sure. He is in so deep. We are all in so deep. So there's no way he can stop it. He said it many times. Even if we want to stop, we can't stop it. And what he's saying is do or die, right? Engineering Mike would love to hear from you.
Okay, good evening, everybody, our leaders around the globe. Good day, good morning. So what I want to say is, like, when I listen to when Mr. Ash, that interview, I've gone over it so many times. When you look from the mission, I'll say he's the master architect who is very composed, very determined, and he's very just there doing the job. Because if you look at it, I listened to one of the other interviews, like the other day he was on the round table, and he said, if you look at it, like most of the time he's with earpiece, he's not concentrating on his family. He's doing things for us with his earpiece, listening to webinars. All that is because of us, the founders. He's working for us. And you can see whether negativity or no negativity, he doesn't really care. If you look at Mr. Ash 4-5 months ago, what he's unveiling to us today, all the surprises, he knew everything, but nothing came out. So he's just going step by step by step. And he told us that it's just for us to, trust the process of what he's doing. Because if you look at it, he does something completely before we ever know about it. Who knew that Oblast was already functioning? Nobody. Until the day on the 30th that we saw that. So I like the way he's doing it. Very calm, cool-headed somebody. He's doing his thing just slowly, and we applaud him for that. He's working for us, the founders. Let's just trust the process. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you so much, Engineering Mike. Milo, do you want to call on, or do you want to pose the next person? I know you're on your phone, you might not see everything.
I see him, Julie. If I get on my computer, I can, but I so far I haven't been able to.
Okay, all right. I'll moderate. I'll moderate from here then. Thank you, Milo. Thank you, Engineering Mike. Sherry, I saw that you have a hand raised. Would you like to speak?
Sure, I will. Sorry, I don't have my picture. I'm on my computer and my thing doesn't work. Anyway, Ash has put this such, he doesn't think of it as work. he thinks of it as just helping people around the world, whether it be founders, whether it be somebody he just meet, and anybody he meets, they're like family to him, even if you're just somebody on the street. So it's driven by a higher power within himself, which is love, which he brings out. And when you're doing something that you love out of love, it doesn't seem like work. So whatever pitfalls come your way, you're just like, no, I'm going to keep going. No, I got to keep going. I have to help people. And like he always says, he's not driven by money. He's driven by love of people. And that's what drives him. Every single moment, every single day, no matter how many darts get thrown at him, he thinks about people. He thinks about his family. We're like family to him. And that's all I have at this point. I love you all to pieces. It was amazing. And I will see you at the next level of time.
Absolutely, Sherry. Thank you so much for sharing here. You know, I wanted to ask, I see that Lynn and Chris are here in the room with us, and you are the two, along with Milo and I and other founders that was in the room with Mr. Ash Mufarad. As we know to this time, the other day that Mohammed came out, and Ash even said it was the stressest moment of their life on that Wednesday, just to make sure that everything was lining up. And you see the composure of Mr. Ash Mufarad, how he is, and there was a determination look in his eyes, in himself. I like Lynn or Chris, if one of you or two of you, I would like to hear from you. Lynn, if you don't mind to start. Ask Chris said, go ahead and start. If you could please talk about his determination being in the room. As we all know, it was, I would say, a little bit chaos at the early hour. And when you see him walked in the room, his attitude, his composure, could you please talk a little bit about that?
Yes, certainly. I sat directly to his right during the event, and I can say that he was very composed, never raised his voice. He was thinking. I could tell that his mind was clicking, and he was texting, trying to communicate with people. And when he had important things to do, he would exit the room, make the call, come back in. But I think the vibes that he had made us calm. I felt like he was reassuring to everyone, and I never felt like he was agitated or anxious. That's a great leader, where he was thinking throughout the whole thing, and I think he was very logical. And I was just amazed at how calm he was, and I think that helped us to also have confidence and calmness within us. So I give him a lot of credit for that. Great features of a tremendous leader. We're blessed to have him at the helm of OnPassive.
Thank you, Lynn. Absolutely. He was very determined. Like you said, he was very calm. There's not a moment during that time to look at him and say he's stressed out. You can't, because he's not. He was so determined and so focused on that. And Lynn, you're sitting right next to him, and you do witness that, and you do feel that energy coming from Mr. Ash Mufarad. Chris, what about you? What did you see?
Wow, what did I see? I was actually sitting in the front of the room, like where our big screens were. And I had a good idea what was happening. We were all a little tense. I asked him in, he sat down. Exactly what Lynn said. I remember he would walk out of the little room, the room we were in, to go get on his phone, to call Marty, to call Muhammad, to get it going. I remember walking out there, and he was right there. I said, anything you need, let me know. Do you need any help? Was everything good? He says, Chris, I've got 30 minutes. That's all I got for this to happen, and we can't miss it. And I remember looking at him and saying, you taught me to be calm in the face of trouble. I'm going to put those words back on you. And then I walked away from him. He called me back. He says, oh, by the way, you think you can ask the IT lady, which there was 3 IT people. One was like a head lady. He wanted 2 more screens in the room. Why? I don't know. We had 2 pretty good screens in there. And I remember asking the lady, and actually they didn't have 2 more screens. And I just looked at him and shrugged my shoulders, didn't want to tell him no. I didn't want to say nothing to him. I just wanted him to concentrate, but he did stay very calm. And for what he had going, I mean, if someone just told me, a year's worth of work and we've got 30 minutes for it to happen and things were not going so well, and we don't know all the reasons what was happening. There was a lot of things that he wanted to do that actually just couldn't happen. He was very calm. The most important thing that I noticed, and I think Julie touched on it the other day, he came back into the room. I'm not even sure if it was caught on camera. He sat down in his chair. My opinion, he looked up to God for about 5 seconds and just looked up there and said, God, this is the time I need you. And as far as I'm concerned, God put his hand on his shoulders and said, let's do this. And it was pretty amazing. But he was, for the pressure he was under, he even admitted he was sweating his brains up. I never saw him sweat. I was sweating harder for him. I think all of us were, because we just wanted to go perfect. And I still believe it went out perfect. But yeah, it was pretty crazy to witness the man in action, but he was very calm. He did walk quite a bit. When he was on the phone, he was strutting back and forth. We thought he was just strutting for us, but he was actually doing business. He never stops. His mind doesn't stop. He doesn't stop thinking about everyone else, but he really knew how important this was and the time he spent on it. So, but that's all I got, Julie. Go right back to you.
Thank you, Chris. And you and I were sitting next to each other. We were staying calm and just kind of watching what's going on. And then he looked at me and he said, Julie, I want you to be over here. And then I sat next to him, and it was just the Zoom thing, Majigi, right? So I pulled the chair right there, and you can see his determination. You can see his energy. And then literally he grabbed my hand and I grabbed his hand. Susie and I literally taking time, putting our hands, behind his back, just basically, congratulations happened, just being there for him. It was such an incredible honor just to be right next to him and holding his hand at that time. It's firm grab. And yes, Chris, you said it. He looked up. And yes, he just said God, or, whatever at that time in his mind, he said, this is the moment that you're shine. And on the conversation the other day, Janet Butler brought up music before that was play. It said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. And I believe that's something that's probably in his mind at that time. And I thought, wow, this is blessings. This is blessings upon blessings. And it was such an amazing feeling just to be there. I just wish that we all got enough sleep at that time so we don't look zombie-like. But it was amazing. Milo, I see you have your hand raised. I love to hear from you. You were in the room.
Yes, Julie, we all witnessed history. There's no doubt about it. We witnessed history. And Ash was cool. I mean, I don't know how he did it, with everything going on. You would see him walk out, like Chris said, and come back in. And I remember one thing he said at the dinner table, and I can't remember if it was the night. I think it was the first night when we had the problem with the motels and stuff. And he held up, he held up his eating utensils, which is all wrapped in a napkins. And he says, sometimes you want this. But then he picked up a spoon and he says, sometimes you get this. And he says, this is just perfect. This is just perfect. This is what we needed. And that's the way Ash feels. He is an incredible guy. When you sit next to him and you feel his heart and stuff, and when he starts talking like that, it's like, wow, that's deep. You might want this, but that's not maybe what you get. And maybe not what you need, but what you got was just perfect, and that's the way he felt, and made us all feel comfortable too, that, hey, even though things might not have went exactly the way he wanted them, it went just perfect, and I like that.
And I agree with you so much, Milo. The next clip that I'm going to play, he was talking about You know, Milo, you've talked to him about being such a great leader. You blessed him with the opportunity, and then you blessed me with the opportunity. And then he said, if I pull out, you continue to do it, or you kind of stop. So this one is, let's see, about a minute long. And I'd like to hear it. Hold on.
And people are knowledgeable. We shouldn't underestimate anyone. It bothers me when some of the gurus or salespeople try to train you how to kind of trick or how to manipulate feelings so you can get a decision or you close a deal or get a check or make a sale. It bothers me. I just feel that things from the heart work better. More people sense if you're real or not. Right. No tactic, no method would work. It's the human feeling that is the best judgment. No, I knew, but how do you feel, Milo? Like when you thought, like almost 3 years ago?
Yeah,
it
was 2019.
November 2.5. Yeah.
November.
Okay. So now think about that. When you met, okay, it got better when we met, a little bit better, because we got a little bit of confidence. Now, after the process and after today,
well, the thing is I just keep growing and growing and growing. And
Right.
you're exactly right. You know, when I first heard it, I felt it.
I like Milo to talk about it. You met Mr. Ashmofar on, I believe, November 2019. And then you met him again on the 30th of March. And you had said in the conversation that your feelings, your belief, your convictions is growing and growing every single day. So Milo, I'd like to hear it from you instead of playing here. I'd like for you to talk about it.
Absolutely. I said to him, you know, that when I first met him, I'll be honest with you, I was not 100% all in, you know, but after I met Ash, I was 100% all in, you know, and you know, and then he said, you know, like, well, you know, after you met me and you become, then, you know, you worked, brought Julie in, which I brought Julie in. And I have that belief now. I pass it on to Julie. And, you know, he said something there that was really cool. It was, you know, hey, if we can go 2 levels. In other words, I bring in, you know, or Julie comes in and she starts believing me. But then now we got me and Julie, and we affect someone else. Maybe it might be Bruce Bryant, you know, or someone else, or Leon Holiday. You know, we bring them in and now we're 2 levels deep. And then he said, now, if I pulled out, would you guys pull out? No, because we are now, you know, our brains and our heart have joined with him to help people. And that's what he was saying. You know, it's not that you don't need him, but the truth of it is when you go down 2 levels, they're believing in us. You know, they don't have to have, you know, Mr. Ash, even though they do. But I'm just saying, when you go 2 levels deep, then that's where it is. This is the beauty of this thing. You know, the more that we talk to people, the more we bring in, the more we, you know, we have these webinars, we talk to people. And when you get that ingrained in you, you know, and like I said, your heart and your mind come together, and you realize that this is much bigger than what originally we think. All of us think that when we come in. You know, we come in with the mindset, at least I would say the majority of people do, come in with that mindset of, you know, this is going to be great. This is going to help me. This is going to get me an extra income. This is, you know, this is going to work out really nice for me. But then all of a sudden we realize it's much bigger than that. Yes, it will do all of that, but that's just a little bit of it. The big thing is you're going to be able to give back out. You're going to be able to help people. And what good is a whole bunch of apples if you just let them rot, you know, and you die and your apples are there? What good is that? It doesn't do any good. The cool thing is you can pass them out, you can give them out, and people can enjoy the apples. And guess what? You get more coming in. You'll never run short of them. you know, and that was just so cool. And it's so cool to sit with him and talk and just listen to him and observe him. I mean, that guy is the most incredible guy. If you watch him, the way he talks to, you know, the person at the front desk of the hotel versus the way he talks to Michael Williams, you know, it's almost like, you know, they're both VIPs, you know, everybody he talks to, his driver, it's like a VIP. It's remarkable how he does that and how he handles it all. That's what I noticed a lot of that today, or this time when I seen him, that I didn't see before. Although I did see him, you know, act towards the waitress. He was very nice when he come in and just with me, but it was just us. But when you get a big group, that's a different thing. It's like with respect, all like a VIP. I'm impressed with that part.
Thank you, Milo. I don't know if it's me or Milo, but I'm glad you share about your feeling at that time. You know, he did really mention this, not sure, probably at dinner time. He said, what's good is it when you have what you need and people around you do not have what you have, but you have extra, right? What good is it for the extras that you have? So many people who passed away and still have so much, but haven't done really much in life, right? So I think what he said is that, you know, we'll really reminding every single one of us that, you know, if you already share this with someone, why don't you take their hands and go to the end of the road, go to the end of it, go help, keep reaching out and help. What's good is it when you are already in it, you feel good, you're great. What about the next person? What about your team? What about your organizations? What about your community? I think what he said here is truly reminding every single one of us, and just everything that he's listening to, I take it as he's mentoring many of us, right? And emphasize and express the way who he is as a true leader. Momodu, I love to hear from you, Momodu. And thank you, Dan and Peter Rogers, for joining us here today. Dan Street and Peter Rogers. Momodu, if you would please unmute your mic.
Yes, Miss Julie, thank you for calling me. Sorry for my video off, you know, I'm in the middle of providing care. So I saw Mr. Ash, the way he was talking, he just reminded me of, you know, when you say you want to help people, you don't have to put money in yourself. When you put the love of money, you won't be able to help people. You see, this job that I'm doing, I did it, and I don't get tired because I don't do it for the love of money. I do it because I have an avenue, an opportunity to render my service to my fellow human beings. So therefore, when I'm doing it, I will never be tired because I'm doing it from the bottom of my heart with the intention of helping to make my fellow human being happy. So when you have that mindset, whatever you are doing, you will never be tired. So that's what I saw on that day when Mr. Ash was talking. I saw myself in him, that don't put the love of money if you want to help your fellow human beings. That's the contribution I just want to attest to what Mr. Ash was talking about. Ms. Julie.
Thank you so much, Momodu. And you are the superstar, and thank you for all that you do. And you know what? Being where you are right now, taking care of people, but you have never missed a webinar. You are the superstar. I just want to let you know that, Momodu. And I have a pleasure meeting you in Maryland back about probably almost a year ago.
A year, almost.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So I'm going to turn my video off again. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And you know, you know, there are so many superstars, and I call every single one of us here superstars and leaders, the pushing themselves, pushing and keep pushing themselves to be there for founders who not able to log in, founders who not able to access things, and every single one. You know who you are. If I was going to call out names today, I probably spend the rest of the time this evening to call out all of our friends that are pushing to the very top limit in your time, your energy to help other people to get where they are. And I'm just telling you, you are continue to do it. And I'm very sure all your efforts that you are putting in on passive, it's another stone, it's another a brick to help build on passive stronger. And you all know who you are. So thank you so much for doing that. The next clip that I'm going to play, it's about Mr. Ashmafar talking about how addictive it is to give. And as we all know, he is giving. He's very addictive in giving and making other unfortunate people happy. And as we all know, he has spending time giving phones away, cars away. He did choose the Julia and Milo show, as he mentioned in the video, to tell a story of him in the street of Boston and how his wife pushing him to do that. So let's hear the next clip.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. And when people are addicted to good feelings, okay, but sometimes they do it the wrong way. They get addicted to sugar, to drugs, to smoke, to alcohol, to all of that. They think it makes them feel good, but over time, it's making them miserable, unhealthy, and unsuccessful. I realize if we do it organically, if I do something good, and it makes me feel good, so I get used to it. When you do it the next time, now I cannot. It is literally an addiction. Like I cannot. If I go a day I didn't do good deed at any capacity, I just can't. I have to do something, and because it's Julia and Milo show, I will have to say something. I know because these two incredible leaders with me, they have the heart. They would care. We just came from a brutal winter in Boston. Basically, we spent our year here, or at least the season. And it was cold and snowy and windy and stormy at nights. When we realized sometime late night, past midnight, we didn't do much good. My wife would send me to either get food or we have something at our place to give away. She pushes me to go to the streets of Boston, find somebody there that they don't have a place to eat, find them, give them food, give them another, some clothes or things we don't use. And they're little things. We throw a lot of food, but then I sleep better. But that day it counts more. Anybody can make money, anybody can eat. But when you do it to others, enable others to make money, to do that, it's a good feeling. You cannot have good enough of it. Just think about how I can recall the first time when I gifted an iPhone to one of our staff. It was moving. Today we get 15 at once. You just get you cannot have enough. Okay, we give a car, okay, so what would be next? It will be more. This is how addictive it is. Don't know if it's a bad thing. Addiction can be good if you're addicted or connected to something that is positive. And I don't remember when I got my first, or it doesn't matter. Not that impressive, but I know the feeling and the reaction from others is so fulfilling, so impacting, and I can't have enough of it. I'm telling you, we cannot go a day without doing good. If I feel like we're not doing enough, we go and look in another direction. We have to make up something. We have to do something. Sometimes overseas, sometimes people we don't know. We have to do something. Listen, most people think I have to have a lot of money or think they have to have a lot of money to be. Listen, we can share something. Sometimes a phone call, you can literally have a conversation with a stranger. It's a gift. Give them their time, but your genuine, feeling or kind of connection with them. Some people, they just need to be considered and recognized. It doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be cars. It doesn't have to be iPhone. Those are materialistic things. If you're able to do, you will get to a point that you are strong enough financially to be able to bless others at a larger capacity. But don't think you have to have a lot of money to start blessing people. Okay, start with anything. Conversation, share a bite. Okay, you throw a lot of food, I'm sure. Okay, something you're not using. Connect to people. They might have a different arrangement that will make them more productive. Anything. I believe anyone can make something, do something good.
Mr. Ash, I wanted to ask you this really quick. Last night during dinner, okay, that was for the next session. He talked about addicted. He talked about addicted to giving, and then we all get to see the Oblast video. I'd like to hear your thoughts in what you've heard and your thought on the Oblast videos. And I know we have been talking about it in the last, few webinars. What's your thought on the homeless initiative that we are discussing with Mr. Ash yesterday, I believe, and then also on the Caribbean yesterday? Some of us were there. I know that there are a lot of things you wanted to talk about. If I can see some hand raised that talk about giving, the addictions of giving, where we see Mr. Ash move forward. I'd like to hear from some of your thoughts. Key, if you would please unmute your mic. I'd love to hear from you, Key.
Julie, that was one of the things that I shared with Ash after the big event. I was fortunate enough to be able to speak to him over the phone, and he asked me what I thought and what touched me the most. And everybody's pointing at the Berg and the light show, but it was the video and showing Oblast going into the streets and helping people and seeing it. Seeing is believing, and seeing it in action, and seeing people with the On Passive and the Oblast shirts, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And that was more moving to me. And I just know that there was not only me, but there was many with not a dry eye. It was very, very, very moving for me personally.
Thank you, Key. Absolutely. There was no dry eye in that room. And personally, oh gosh, that video really pulling my heart out. And I remember I just sat there and tears just keep rolling. You can't stop, right? And it's kind of like, it has that sensational feeling, like shaking feeling in your body where you just want to do it. Your passion just keep running and yeah, we, like Chris and I, literally like holding each other's hand, I think at that time, and kind of throw napkins out, it was just incredible, that feeling at all. And thank you, Lord, my daughter was there, and I know she does have a giving heart as well. And it was great for her just to be in the room and share that feeling as well. William Norris, I see Milo is back, so I'm going to send it back to you shortly, Milo. William, I see that you have your hands raised. I'd like to hear from you.
Hey, Julie, how you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
Hope you're doing good, and hope everybody else is too. Yeah, I just have to chime in here and agree with Key. I love everything that Ash is doing. I really am enthused about the whole project, but I am touched with the Oblast effort that he's already started. And it's hard to sleep at night when you think about what we're going to be able to do for a lot of people around the world. And I'm very, very dedicated to doing whatever I can do to help here and abroad. I mean, I'm just ready to do whatever's needed to do to kick this thing off and help in any way I can. I think we have an opportunity here that we wouldn't have any under any other circumstances. So I'm ready to go to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, William. Absolutely. I have seen you shared a lot on some of our conversations that we have. Thank you for doing that. And I know you're ready to go. Milo, you are I think you're in and out from your computer to your phone. Would you like to say a few words, Milo? All right. I think Milo is trying. He's having a hard time get connected today. All right. Judy Oliver, I'd like to hear from you.
Hi, Julie. I just want to say that I started off on passive or Go Founders, and I was thinking of it as a moneymaker and couldn't wait to see how much money I could make from all this. And yet, over the time that I've been here, which is a couple of years now, I've totally changed. And every time I hear Ash and how much he and his wife do daily, I feel guilty. And I think, you know what, I've got to start doing something, even though I don't have much money, just stepping out there and talking to somebody on the street or giving them McDonald's or doing something like that. It's just made me feel so totally different now. And I feel like having the relationships that I have with you all, even though I've not met any of you, I just feel connected. I feel like Ash is almost like Mother Teresa, like Father Ash. I mean, I just think that he is just convincing all of us with his big heart to get out there and really do something to change this world and to touch people. So I'm getting emotional now, but I'm just so happy to be a part of this movement. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Judy. When we talk about giving, the passion, there's no way we can't stop. So just let it go. Let it run its course, right? Thanks so much for being here, Judy. Engineering Mike, I would like to hear from you.
Okay, good evening again, everybody. Good morning, everybody around the world. So when you look at, nobody ever knew that we have already started Oblast. Nobody knew until that day. So just saying from the beginning, and not only that, everything that was coming out from the gifts was branded with Oblast on it. That's another thing. Like all the bags of rice, all the bags, everything was branded Oblast on it. Just started keep on people crying and crying and crying. I mean, it gives us like everybody who is an offensivian, all the founders, it makes us have that kind of commitment. Like we want to commit, we want to follow the route, we want to follow the path where Mr. Ash is going. So like for me, I'm ready. Like everywhere that we want to go for any project for Oblast, I'm physically fit and I'm ready and willing to go. So there are so many other people out here that we just need to engage into the program and we go touch people's lives. There are so many people who are healthy, strong, and willing to go. So when I also saw Mr. Ash in the room being so, how did I put it again? So simple. He was a person ushering everybody, the simplicity of him. I said, okay, that is what we have to emulate as on Perseverance, to be simple and to be able to help other people. Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you so much, Engineering Mike. Thanks for bringing that up today. I know that there are, a lot of people are watching currently right now on multiple YouTube. I do understand the fact that you probably have no idea what we're talking about here. We do hope that, that you would plug in and actually look into the information. But thank you so much for watching all of us now discussing about what had happened on the mega global event on March 30th. Thanks so much for coming on here with us. All right, Abdi is the last one will speak, and then I have 2 more clips to go. So I'd like to have Abdi. Abdi, would you please unmute your mic?
Hello, Julie. Hello, everyone. Yeah, by listening all the clips and then the rest of the founders here about their ideas about Ash and his heart. I remember a couple of months back when one of the webinars that Ash was on, he was talking about, I think it was New York or somewhere where he has to go and about the pizza. You remember he was talking about he was going to the remaining of the restaurants that he get all the pieces. And yes, and that from that day on, and what I have experienced myself since I was a founder, it's really amazing feeling. It's no longer a business. It's no longer about the monetary value. It's all about giving and the heart, and everyone would think, oh, was there such man, such person was living in the world, in another way. And also the other thing I remember is, which is really, really 100% true, that everyone who, when you hear that statement, you can tell it's clearly every human being's heart will say, yes, that's true. Even though if they're not even giving person, then they will agree that statement. And that was the statement that I said, I think it was giving is 10 times more fulfilling than receiving. That is really a great statement, and that's true. Even if you're not a giving person, if you don't want to give, when you hear that statement, it says so. It says something, and it is true. The heart will tell you, you feel excited, you feel fulfillment when you give to something to someone who in need. So I'm really very grateful, and everything that on Passive and the whole movement is all about is something that will change the world, as we always hear from our leader. So that's all I want to contribute to this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abdi. Yes, giving is very rewarding. And I have to tell you this little story of mine when I was a teacher, coming back from, I think I was an aide, not a teacher yet, somewhere around that area. So during Valentine's, you know how little kids bring you chocolate and heart and only for you and heart shape and all of that. So I drove home, and as I exited the freeway, there was a gentleman, he was very, older and ragged, kind of standing there. So I opened the window and I handed him a chocolate box. I didn't know what it was. It was just one of the boxes that the kids gave me. I handed it to him. And I did not know this, but that chocolate box has a heart shape and it said only for you, right? And you could imagine when I gave that, and this gentleman was, what? Heart only for you? And then his face was beaming. That joy, that was Valentine's for me. That was Valentine's for me. And I thought I did it for him, but it was him. It was a reflection from what he said his face was for me. It was Valentine for me in that week, and you can't find that. So that is so true, that when Mr. Ashmore Forrest said, during the cold street of Boston, my wife pushes me out to bring the extra clothes, the extra food that we have to go out and give it to those people so that he can sleep well at night. That was beautiful. So just thought I'd bring that up. All right, next clip, we are going to talk about leadership. And hang on, my daughter is calling me right now. Sorry. Milo, are you in the house? Okay, sorry, baby, hang on. I'm on the show right now. Chris, can you take 1 second? Milo, can you please take the mic for 1 second?
I am in the house. Julie, I'm in the house. I don't know if you can hear me good. I'm in and out. I don't know. My internet is terrible. I'm on my phone now. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you, Milo. Could you take the mic for 2 minutes?
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you. Could you take the mic?
Guess not.
No, Julie,
sorry, Julie.
Julie, when?
Trying, but I don't think
Milo,
it's working.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Milo.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, we can
You
hear
guys
you.
can hear
me?
We can hear you, Milo.
We could.
Okay, I can't hear anything. It's all broken up. So I don't know if you guys can hear me. I guess that's great. I haven't been hearing anything hardly that's been said. My internet is working bad, but what a great time we had out in Boston. You know, I will say that. You know that it was remarkable, and I can't wait for all of you guys to meet Ash. And Marty, are you there?
I'm back, Milo. Yes, Marty is here, and I like Marty to speak back.
Okay, you're back, Julie. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm back, and I like Marty to speak after we play the next clip. So hang on. Thank you, Milo. I'm going to go ahead and mute you, and I don't know if you can hear us, but I'm going to go ahead and mute you for now, Milo. I can't mute Milo, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it.
Last night.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's ironic. Think about it. Like so many leaders that we can't wait for them to die. True or false? Okay. And so many real leaders. I'm not talking about a position or a title. They pass, but they're living in us. They're impactful. Anyone knows Mother Teresa or other legends of life? So it's what they do, okay, to others, not to themselves. That doesn't count. And I believe most leaders try to push away, especially in politics or insecure systems. They try to push their people away, thinking that it makes them more secure, and detach completely and distance themselves from their people, from their population, and then they think they're going to go to the top. There's no connection. Yeah, they're leading, but by fear. Are they really being loved and influencing their population, or just by force, by fear? So that's not when you get the most out of people. You get the most out of people when you actually touch their heart. You can ask for the hand after that. When you have that emotion, then the motion follows. Why don't you take them with you? You don't have to detach. You go up the success ladder together. I'm not going to take away from your wealth or potential. You're going to get what you get. How much do you need? So take others with you. It feels better. It's warmer. It's more meaningful. And it's not going to take away from your part.
Well, that is so good, Mr. Ashton. I know we've had a wonderful day today.
Wow. I love it when he talks about leadership, and not only that he shared it here with us, I think he had also spoken with Lynn and the tech guys on the dinner the night before, also talk about it, and I loved it, and I said, could you share it there? So he did share with us. One of the things that I see that all of us here on Passive, every single ones are leaders. As I have always said, you are, show up in webinars, you are a leader. You have shared on Passive with other people. You have helped other people, making comments, share, videos, share webinars without, you are the leader. And I believe that many of us are doing that because of our love of Unpassive. I like to hear from Marty. As we all know, he is the greatest leader in Unpassive, but the time that he spent, the time that he's handling, you have no idea, many of us have no idea what he has to go through on the day of the event and what he has done for our company. It is so true, and I resonate this with Mr. Ashmore. And I watched the video again on that day, and he absolutely deserved a standing ovation on that day for what he has done. Marty, I like you to speak. You are the leader that many of us are looking up to, especially myself. I love you. I love for everything that you are doing. And I don't think the word love or thank you is enough, but I can't wait to spend time in your living room. So Marty, I love to hear from you, brother.
Okay, first is when I volunteered to answer a question, I didn't know you were going to say all that. Okay, that doesn't help. Here's what I want to say. You know, a lot of people look at LC or leader or whatever. This is a fact. I've seen it in my life. That's how I know. I think that's why I became close to Ash, because I've always believed that if you help enough people and you shine the light on someone else other than yourself, the light on you gets brighter just because that's the way it is. No more technical than that. The more times, I always believe in pushing people up, not pulling them up. If I see a diamond in a rough, I shove them up almost illegally, okay? I mean, I push them as hard as I can because I know that deep inside there's something there that all of us could use. I honestly believe you're only as strong as your weakest link, okay? You can't be any better than the people around you. And I've met a lot of people here that I thought, wow, there's something special about that woman, that man, that woman, that man. And that's what I always try to push. And I know some people, I've heard people say, well, how do I get to this? I said, listen, if you're doing it to be a leader, it will never happen. My goal back when we were asked to be on the leadership council, myself, Mike, and Dan, our first comment was, oh, crap. No, you can ask Dan. It wasn't like we were saying, oh, I can't wait. We were so wrapped up in what we were doing. Not that I didn't want to help, but we also discussed that it's time now to move on and on passive. And if Ash asks us, we need to do it. I'm glad I did. But like Julie said, there's a lot involved. But I have seen people go from absolutely the quietest person or woman in the world to doing lives today or helping other people, feeling good about themselves. If you can bring that out in people, well, listen, I didn't put it in anybody. If somebody tells you that, oh, I made you who you are, that's a lie. All you did is shine a light. They absorb the light and say, hey, this feels pretty good. And they start to turn it a little higher, a little higher, a little higher. And if you do it right, they will do the same to someone else. That's how you make Unpassive from a business to a movement. A business doesn't have light. A business has numbers, people's names. They don't know each other. They don't care about each other. Here is a movement because everyone is shining the light on someone other than themselves. And if you notice, the people that don't stay in Unpassive, they have a problem shining the light on anybody but themselves. And that's sad. You want to be a leader? help others as much as you can, if that's what you're looking for. But I think we lead, Ash leads by example. Everything he does is about someone else. Every conversation I've ever had with him was, yeah, but can a founder do it? Can a person that works 9 to 5 do this? Can he do that? Can she do that? And that's all he thinks of every time I talk to him. Last week on the craziest week of my life and on Passive, the Sunday before, we could do a whole show just on bloopers or whatever you want to call them. But I mean, literally 11:30 Sunday night, I need to get airline tickets in 20 people's hands by morning. And I'm going, yeah, no problem. Now, it happened. It did work. It always works. But you got to believe it'll work and you do it. We just went after it. We didn't say, I don't know if we could do that. I just laughed because that's Ash Mufara time. Everybody knows if you deal with Ash, he's got a totally different clock and watch than anybody else on the planet. Hey, what are you doing? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm, ramping it down. Got something for you. You think you could? Oh yeah. And then you might be up till 5 in the morning. But that's part of what we do, and I enjoy doing it. So when people thank me, it bothers me because it's like thanking me for something that I'm working at. I'm not working at. I love it. I absolutely love it. But last week, Tuesday night, I believe, or something, right during that hell week or whatever you want to call it, he texted me. He said, look at this. And a picture came up and there was boxes all over the floor. Now I know he's getting ready for the biggest event of his life, of our lives. I'm looking, I'm going, what is that? That goes on a lot by the time. What is that? And I said, what is it? He said, boxes. We went out and got a bunch of food for people and we're going to hand it out. And I'm going, when? Like, when? I mean, how are you going to do that? Oh, we'll do it in the morning. I'm thinking, okay, you're here now at 10. You were here at 3 in the morning. I got up at 5 and you were there and now you're going to give up. Don't you think you should sleep? We can sleep later, he said. That's who's leading this company. Listen, that's how he's a leader. And he's right. There's different types of leader. There's dictators. You're afraid not to follow them. But with Ash, you want to follow him. And a lot of you are those people. I mean that. Not just Ash. There's thousands of people like Ash in on Passive. Maybe not to that level, but we're all working towards that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I hope I answered what you wanted. But yeah, we're in a good place. I don't need to be thanked for it. In fact, I don't know. It bugs me. But no, we're all in it together. And Chris set me up, by the way. He called me 5 minutes before. He didn't tell me it's going to happen like that. But anyway, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you, Marty. It's actually a very, I don't know. You said it's a hell week. I said it is too. 11:30 Eastern time, we got a call. We sat down and 3 of us jumped right in. Peter, Chris, and I tried to get everybody to flight to get out. And as you know, I'm in the West Coast, so I'm like 3 hours, right? By the time that we got down to few people already went to bed. And so I stayed up because I'm like, I got to make sure that every single one that were supposed to go had the air tickets to go. So I had to stay up and I'm like, okay, as soon as I get the message and communicate with them, I hope to take probably an hour or 2 hours sleep, but I couldn't. So I couldn't sleep and I had to get ready to go on the plane. And my Uber drive was reserved for at 4:30, right? So I didn't have a time to sleep. But the crazy thing that we all 3 of us pulled it all together that every single one was supposed to go, got their tickets to get on the plane. And, you know, the rest of it is history. The time when we all sat down on the plane, at that time, we're like, it's okay, right? I can't wait to hear what Key has to share. So I have one more clip to play. Before I do that, I'd like to hear from Dan Street. Dan, if you would please unmute your mic.
Well, thanks, Julie and Milo, and this is a great show. I just like to pop in here and say that I think in just listening, well, I was on a family vacation last week up in the mountains, and I got into a conference room at 8 o'clock in the morning in Colorado time to get on this, and I got exclusive rights to this little conference room up in the mountains from this hotel I was staying at, and I was all set up. And I watched this show, and I could see the challenges, but I could also, the message was very clear, and it was so amazing. And you know, it was just I wish I was there with you guys. But one of the things I'd like to just say is that I think what Ash is teaching us, and he said it last, the last, oh gosh, I think the last time I listened to him, and it was that we've got to be happy with what we have. And the value of what we have is better than any company out there, anywhere, okay? And we've got to realize that and not look to where's the next product, what's the next thing coming up. We've got to look at what we have as being more valuable than anything anybody has ever had, any company, anywhere. And then this morning with Chris and Marty and Red and Muhammad Kamal, one of the things, I mean, that was so powerful because you could feel the emotion from Muhammad saying that what Ash has done, and this hit me. He said, what Ash has done is he has brought the value to the people, the value to us. We always hear about the value of the company, the value of the company. Well, the value he has brought to all of us. And he's made us stronger for that. And he wants us to realize that we have value. And I just think that I could, you know, to imagine that he was there and feel his excitement about everything that he's done over the last year. That really was a great show this morning. And I just want to congratulate all you guys that did that. So that's all I have, but great job, good show.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thanks so much for being here with us as well. Let's go on to the next clip, and then we'll come back to the topic.
Let you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one last question.
Absolutely.
What is your message to the world?
All right. Do something good every day. Try to do it outside yourself. It's going to steer your attention away from your challenges or issues. We all have them, trust me. But when you focus your attention on someone else, again, it could be a glass of water. It doesn't have to be big, okay? It could be just a good hand, shake hand, or a gesture, anything that is positive, warm, comforting, encouraging to others. It could be a hello, it could be a smile. And try to do something good every day. You're going to feel better. You're going to get used to it. You're going to get addicted to it, and you will scale it up, okay? I know everybody's trying to focus on themselves. If I'm good enough, if I'm equipped, if I'm rich, if I'm this and that, I can impact others. No. Try to reverse engineer it, okay? When you do that, you're going to feel good about yourself, and you're going to see that your life is more meaningful. All right, you're more motivated, and you're going to forget about your little bitty things, okay, or personal things. There are much bigger issues. No matter what you think your issue is, somebody else has it worse, okay? So you might have a bad one day, okay? There's always a good day. There's always a good day. So I just tell you, try it. It's for free. Just do one good thing to someone else once in a while. You don't have to do it every day. But I assure you, once you feel that fulfillment and that joy of giving and blessing others, you're going to get used to it, and you're not going to have enough of it.
Absolutely. Mr. Ash, thank you.
Awesome. What his messages do something good for someone. And I have to tell you that I look up to it. I look up to what he said, and every time when I do something to other people, for example, just calling a founder out of the blue, you know, at first I thought, you know, I'm going to do that for that individual that I called. But I share this before at the end of the conversation, it's more for me than that individual. It makes me feel really good. It, you know, listening to their troubles, not troubles. I'm talking about her mic is on. Let's see. Not. I think it's Sherry. Yeah. You know, listening to their obstacles, illness, as far as the problem, the troubles that they really go through every day. And then I look at my troubles and my issues. My problems are going through is as small as a grain of sand. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel better. And it makes me feel as if, you know, I could be there for that person. So, you know, I do look up to what he said, and he's a great mentor. And so I like to hear from everyone. What's your thought on what you just heard on his message? Do something good to the world. Do something good for someone. Anyone? Chris?
Yeah, I thought that was, you know, when I watched, I didn't actually get to see the Julie and Milo show live because they did it in the private sector, but I did watch it when I got home. And he also showed up last night at another webinar. And what I really liked what he said is, you know, to be kind isn't necessarily giving someone money, prayers for people, shaking your hand, letting them know that you're there for them or if they need any help. I thought that was pretty important that he said that. And I think a lot of people, especially with stuff with Oh Bless, it's not just about giving people money. It's really just trying to grow people's hearts, let them know that there are people out there that care for them. So, and that's the message I got from him, is it's not just about the money, guys. It's about just changing people that have been ignored, make their hearts grow. That's what I got out of it. Julie, back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Absolutely. Do something for people. And I know Sherry Green is here and she's at work, but she has a lot of things to share. I know other people has things that they have done that makes them feel really good inside. I love to hear from you as well. Violet, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us here. We couldn't take you the other day, but I'm glad you are here, Violet.
Thank you for taking me, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Yeah, I find my forte is driving. I love to drive. I have done 1,000 kilometers in one day. People go, what? But I have done it, I think twice. Anyway, what I do is in the morning, I make sure I have a wad of $5 bills, because 2 and 1 is useless as far as anything goes these days. And when you get off the highway, there's usually somebody standing around with a cup or something. And I give them the $5 bill. And a lot of them are surprised that, and I said, why? What's, you know, what do you usually get? And one guy actually told me, he says, somebody gave me a penny. It's like, okay. And my attitude is, if they need it, fine. If they're scamming, like they don't need it and they're just out to make money for the night or day, I just leave it up to God. I just say, Lord, bless them, and whatever they're going to do with it, take care of it. It's in your hands now. I have nothing to do with it. And that's well, that's as far as money goes. I have taken people to the restaurant. If they're on the street, I'll just say, there's a restaurant right there. I don't have any money with me, which I usually don't. Can I take you in to eat? Well, one guy, he said, sure. And then about halfway there, he said, you know what? I'm not that hungry. And I could tell that he wanted money for booze or drugs. And I had no money. And so he didn't end up going to the restaurant. And then a few days later, I'm in the area again, and I see him walking towards me, and I know what he's going to ask me. But the last second, he recognizes me and keeps on going. It was so funny. Anyway, that's about it. I mean, I could tell you lots of stuff about driving and what I've seen on the road and who I've helped. But yeah, one time McDonald's had 2 for $1 or something. So I've got 2, and it was like, I don't know, I can't eat 2 of these. So I just happened to have it in the car. And as I went under a bridge, there's a road in Toronto that has a expressway above it. And people live under the bridge. And I drove past it, and I saw this guy standing there, and I said, are you hungry? And he says, yeah. And I said, here, take this. And he asked what it was. I told him what flavor it was and all that. And he said, yeah, I can eat that. And he took it, and I just happened to have it. But there are times when you do offer food, they won't take it because they think you're out to kill them, to poison them. And you're giving them poison because you don't want people on the street. And that to me is like really sad. And I don't know. In Toronto, a bunch of people have got together and they got a TTC bus that's out of service, and they're revamping it to put in showers and washing machines and dryers. And they're going to hook it up to a fire hydrant and have street people come in and do their laundry and have a shower. Anyway, that's it. I could talk forever. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Violet. Thanks so much for sharing with us here. Definitely, you want to get onto the Oblast calls later on. So everyone who wants to involve or who are already involved, just stay plugged in, and I'm very sure Chris and Mr. Ashmore would have that calls, and make sure you just plug in there. All right. Thanks so much for being here. All right. I do notice that we do have 6 hands raised, but it is now on the mark of the time. I like to hear from Key Window, and I will call on your hand. And so we have 5 hands raised. We only have about 20 minutes until the end, but that's okay. We're still going to get you on. So please keep your hands raised. I'd like to hear from Key Window. He is one of the founders that was invited to go to that event, mega event in Boston. And at the last minute, he couldn't come. So I'd like to hear from you, Key. Take as much time as you need, Key, please.
Thanks, Julie. Yeah, I was... my last week actually started out with a scheduled visit with a new physician. I've been having some health issues and not happy with my physician, and I found a new physician, and he did an extensive blood work on me on Monday and said, okay, in 48 hours, we'll know if you have cancer, prostate problems, heart problems, or whatever's going on with you. So I was a little anxious for the next 48 hours. And then I get a call at midnight or an instant message, as Chris and I always instant message each other. And I got an instant message just like, hey, can you be in Boston at this time? And I'm like, hey, I'm like, let me look at my work schedule. And of course, I was scheduled to work the next night, and I got that rearranged. And the issue for me was getting back Thursday to cover the hospital Thursday. And it just didn't work out. And there's a reason it didn't work out. And but I was there in spirit. And as some of you may know, Jeffrey Morlock and I talk just about every day. Lynn and I communicate instant message, and Marty and I, we communicate, and the people that were in that room, I have gotten to be very, very close with. Not had much conversation with Michael Williams, but I truly wanted to be there, but it didn't work out for a specific reason. I think the reason is my background is basically pediatric intensive care airway management. And Thursday night, Friday morning, if I had gone to Boston, I had a 5-year-old little girl that I had to put a breathing tube in and put her on a ventilator. So I think things don't happen for certain reasons. I did get put on new medications, which I ended up having a reaction to. And I know that there will be other events and other times down the road, and I will meet Julie, my sister, and Chris, and Marty, and all of you here. All I can say is, get your passports ready, get your things in order for that last minute phone call, because it might come at midnight, 12:30, and it's going to be, hey, you're in California, can you be in Florida tomorrow at noon? And you're like, what? And that's going to be the on-passive way, is you're going to get invited at the drop of a hat. And by the way, I did buy a new hat so Chris could find me in the airport. And I went to the top with my top hat. So if you see a 6'2" guy walking through the airport with a top hat, I'm the on-passive key. So I wish I could have been there. I was there in spirit, and you guys, have become really, really dear friends of mine. Marty found me about almost 2 years ago. I did a little video. The Birth of Catmo, I think is what it was called. And Marty saw it and shared it with Ash, and it caught Ash's eye. And that's actually kind of what opened the door to me, to Ash. And then he found out, what I do for a living, and it kind of led to some other things that I will keep that private. But I'm extremely blessed to be a part of this family, and look forward to meeting each and every one of you. Peter Rogers over in the UK, Red Redford in the UK. My family heritage goes to the UK. So it's a part of the world that I would love to go and see. I have been to Buckingham Palace as a child. I've shared pictures of that with Red. And, I'd like to speak on the Burj Khalifa building, that we now own 2 floors of. People, you can't just go. It's like going to the White House in the United States. It's like going and knocking on Buckingham Palace and saying, hey, I'm in town, can I see the Queen? No, you can't. I mean, that's the Burj. You need to understand that. And we've got the highest office on earth. I mean, the highest office on earth. And who knows where Ash is going to take us, but I'm just saying, man, get ready, be prepared, have your bags packed. As the military guys say, you have your go bag, just have your go bag, because Marty might call you one day at 10, 11 o'clock at night and saying, hey, Ash wants you in Florida tomorrow. Can you be there? And the next time I get that call, Marty, I'll be there. I promise you, I will not miss the next opportunity of sitting down with Chris, Marty, Julie, Lynn, Ash, Michael Williams, Dan Street. I'd look forward to meeting you one day, Mike Ellis, everybody that's been on the forefront of sharing the word of On Passive. William Norris in my home state of North Carolina. Well, we plan to get together and start doing some things in North Carolina. There was a lady on here a minute ago I saw. She was from Kansas, and I have to congratulate her. The Kansas Jayhawks beat my Carolina Tar Heels for the national championship. But, just guys, just be ready. I mean, be proud of where we are and where we're going. Because like Marty has said and Ash has said, we don't know a tenth of where we're going. And if the tallest office in the world doesn't inspire you of where we're going, then, lay back down and go to sleep. That's all I got, Julie. Thanks. Thank you for letting me share that.
Absolutely, Keith. Thanks so much. I was so looking forward to meet you. And I'm like, I saw your text. I'm like, there's no way he could go. So
there is one thing I would like to share. I called Marty, and the issue was me getting back to North Carolina. I would have had to have left the Wednesday from Boston to come back to North Carolina. The latest I could get out was like 7 p.m. Well, we all know what happened at 7 p.m. and after, and all of you guys were going to dinner. And I called Jeffrey and I said, I sure hate that I'm not there. And Chris got on the phone with me and Julie did. And the next thing I know, Ash has the phone and he's talking to me. And he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, man, what do you mean? What do I think? I said, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I was on the webinar. And he was like, you were what? I said, yeah, I was on the webinar. He said, webinar? How dare you? And I'm like, what did I just do? And he's like, I just spent millions of dollars and you call that a webinar? I meant global event. So it was funny. And, I so look forward to the day that I get to shake Ash's hand and just to continue his mission of Oh Bless. And, you don't have to wait for Oh Bless. I promise you, there's somebody on this screen that you're looking at right now that has a need. They have something going on in their life that you could probably help them with. And you don't have to wait for Oh Bless to do that. There's other founders that have needs, and you might be the solution to that problem. There she is, Angie Lynn. Congratulations to your Jayhawks, Angie. But anyway, that's it, guys. I'm just so thankful to be a part of this.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks so much for sharing. As you heard, a lot of the things that going on in preparation of it on our side, on the founder side itself, but we all got to the airport and John White was at the airport for 7 hours. And many of us was getting together, not because of things that's, we all wanted to wait for each other. We all wanted to be there and get to the hotel by all of us together to meet Ash at the same time, because as you know, we all are in this together. We are doing this together. We wanted to show up in the hotel together. And then we learned to learn that there was a hotel that he booked all the rooms for us, the conference room, the buffet was ready, but it got pulled the rug right under all of us. And if you look at the screen on Bill Must right now, you can see the shot of the dinner on that March 30th. Anyway, that day, Mr. Ash Mofart was running around and tried to arrange hotel for all of us. As you understand, this is top secret. This is something that he wanted to keep it that way. And as you understand, there are so many pieces of puzzles to put together in order to take care the people that show up. And as you understand, Mr. Ash Mofart, he takes care of his people. He wants to make sure that everyone is comfortable. He wants to make sure that everyone's fed, and he is the last to eat, right? At that dinner right there, I was sitting next to him. He was the last one that was eating. And you know what? They forgot my plate, right? I ordered the same plate, sea bass, as the one that he did. He didn't want to eat. He said, Julie, share this with me. I said, no, you eat it, Mr. Ash. And he goes, no, I want you to have this with me here. And so what I did at that time, just so that he could eat, warm food, I took a piece of that sea bass that he had and put it on my plate. This man enjoy people, enjoy food, enjoy the company of the people. It was a joy. It was such a joy just to be there with him. So Key had reminded you, be ready, because who knows, someday you are going to receive a phone call. Remember, there's a lot of people in that group that was travel that went to bed the night before, didn't know, or was not sure whether or not they're going. And it took, three of us, Key, Peter, Chris, and I stayed up to make sure that those people got the message and be able to get the flight to go out. So if you are going, and who knows, you might receive a phone call the night before, just get your back ready, right? Ready and say, yes. I was so thankful that every one of us that was traveling, when they received this message, no complaint, just yes, okay, we're on it, and everybody's working together. And that's on passive. You can find that cultures of the connections between people only in on passive. I'm grateful to be part of it. Now, I'm going back to all the hand raise. It's okay, we got 10 minutes. There's 5 hand raised. Take your time, about 2 minutes, if you could. Bruce, if I could, I'd like to hear from you, Bruce.
Certainly, Julie. Violet, you reminded me of when I saw a guy on the road with a sign, and his sign didn't say, we'll work for food. He said on the sign, to be honest, I need a drink. So I had to laugh, and I gave him some money because he was just honest. But, that just makes you laugh. But the whole thing about what Ash had talked about was something I live for, about the kindness that you can give to other people. Because what happens when you give kindness, you give joy to somebody. You acknowledge them as a person. I don't walk well, and I would go into my physical therapy, and somebody used to open the door and go out of their way to do that. And I said, thank you very much. And they would always say, take your time. And because I love to have people laugh, I would just say back to them, I have no choice. And it just lifted their spirit. But even if I'm in a store and I see somebody working and they're miserable, I get them to smile or laugh about something in spite of what they're going through. But the act of kindness is the greatest thing we can do of all. And we are a family, and on passive, we are based on kindness for humanity, uplifting people's spirits. Because a lot of times when we think of homelessness, we don't realize some people, even they can be rich as hell, and they can still feel homeless. They can still feel alone. And this is about uplifting the spirits of people. That's what On Passive is really about. While we get money, because that helps you feel better and feel more secure. The bottom line is people need to feel secure within themselves. So for me, it's about acknowledging people, listening to passion, listening to people with love and compassion in my heart for them. Not looking for anything, but just to give and see what it is they need rather than what I need. Find out. Take the time to listen to somebody, because somebody said to me once, I don't know how you do it, but you sit with a total stranger and they open themselves up to you. And I said, because I'm trustworthy. That's because they know that I'm somebody who's genuinely caring. And when we genuinely care about somebody, they feel that. I admire Keith for all the work that he's done. He's done a great job in his profession, and it's harder than that. And it's very hard to keep that up. But, God has a way of giving us the strength to go through anything we need to go through. And biggest thing of all is is, I got late for the meeting tonight because I would be talking with people about on passive and showing them things and getting to know them a little bit. Because if I come just to a seminar or webinar, it's great to see all you guys, but I need to let other people know about it. And sometimes I get distracted. But I'm glad I showed up. I'm glad we're all here. And I'm really glad, my bags are packed at any time anyway. I'm ready to go. I love to travel. I love to go anywhere. But bottom line is, I'm in this for the ride, and for the ride of my life, and for the love and compassion that I feel from all you guys, and the friendships I start to develop. So anyway, that's enough, Julie, because I know you have a lot more people that want to share. Love you all.
Love you. Thank you, Bruce. I'm glad you're here, and keep doing your live. All right, Bruce? Keep doing that video. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bruce. Eugene, I'd like to hear from you.
Hi, Julie.
Eugene?
Hi, Julie. Can
Hello.
you hear me okay? Hello? Can you hear me okay, Julie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share. Well, On Passive has been an amazing opportunity. It's not just an opportunity for me, but it's a movement. And the spirit of Ash is contaminating a lot of us into giving more. For those of us who were born in Africa, we have a mission to take back something really good to folks over there, especially those who are struggling financially. So we are all vested with a new mission. Ash doesn't realize what he's doing, but he's a mover and a shaker. He's shaking so many lives. He's reshaping a lot of goals and ambitions. But the thing about it is, becoming a giver, I think a lot of us are going to become bigger giver. I'll give you an example. Every day I get to go to the bank. I go to a grocery store, just giving a smile and asking to the bank teller, how are you today? That's a form of giving. It may not be monetary, but some people are so mechanical, they just want their money and out of the bank, or they go to the grocery store, they pay and they're out of the store. But when you care about those individuals, you show them a smile, you're already giving a beacon of hope, because I consider that a smile is like a beacon of hope. You don't know how the people feel when you meet them at that moment. And I tend to always look at life as a test. Every single day that God is giving us a day to live on this earth, we are tested, and we reap what we sow. If you sow goodness toward people, you give them of your time, of your money, of your attention, you're gonna reap the same thing. The same thing, if you give bad, you're gonna reap the bad stuff as well. But think about all the people who do the paid forward at Starbucks or any coffee. They pay for your coffee and the next person pays for the other coffee. That's what I'm talking about. When you give, that can have a really rippling effect on so many other people. It doesn't always happen that way, but at least you can create a movement. And that's what On Passive is all about here. It's going to create such a rippling effect of giving around the world that, I mean, the name of Ash will be remembered forever on this earth. And I'm so excited to be part of this. That's why I started a nonprofit organization to help some of those 30 million kids that are homeless in Africa and around the world, for that matter. But anyway, giving is super important because I want to reap good. So I always want to make sure that I sow good. That's what I had to share.
Thank you so much, Eugene. Appreciate you here, and continue to share your heart out wherever you are, wherever you go. And that's what we do, because we do have such a huge value to share with other people. Thanks so much for being here with us. All right. Thank you. Rob, the other half of Lynn Nakamoto. I'd like to hear from you, Rob. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, I wouldn't, and I don't miss the Julie and Milo show ever. I listen all the time while I'm in the background. I do listen, and I just want to share briefly what happened yesterday to me. And I attribute my thinking along the lines that happened, that was something I needed to do. And it was like Ash was in my ear saying, this guy needs some help. So I was at the base picking up some things at MacDill Air Force Base. And there was a fellow in a wheelchair, and he was trying to get to the bathroom. And his wife was pushing him, and she says, well, I can't go in there, and I can't take him in the ladies' room. I said, well, I'll help him. And in years gone by, I might have walked by, just like 10 people did yesterday. I watched people in uniform walk by this retired guy. At any rate, turns out he has Parkinson's, and he's bound to a wheelchair and can't walk. So we backed into the bathroom. And fortunately, I was able to stand him up, and he was able to do whatever he had to do. And we backed out of the bathroom. The point being, the feeling I got, the smiles that I got from both the wife and the husband were worth $1 million. And I would do that again and again and again. And I really attribute a lot of my thinking these days along those lines to Ash, to Marty, to Chris, and to everybody that shows their hearts, including Lynn Nakamoto. So thank you. I hope I didn't bore everybody with that.
Rob, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing Lynn Nakamoto with us. And I know Mr. Ash Muffard, on the day of the mega event, he did thank his family, especially his lovely wife and his 2 sons. The sacrifice that the family members have made for all the people that being here. Think about Don DeGamo. Think about Jane Redfern. Think about, Chris's daughter. Think about, I have to say thank you for my daughters as well, right? For every single one of us who are on webinar, and then our family members or wives or partners or sisters or daughters or sons are there supporting and a sacrifice from the families. And I wanted to say, Rob, thank you for sharing Lynn Nakamoto with us. Also, Dawn, sharing Marty with us every single time we're on the phone together. We hear his family's running, and Don is helping behind the scene. There's so many superstars behind the scene that we don't know. It is good. It is good to have the support system behind the scenes. So thank you, Rob, for doing that. I see that Michael William is here with us. Thank you, Michael, for jumping on here and be with us here today. I like Michael to be the last person to speak tonight. I like Michael to basically give us the word of wisdom. But before Michael speak, before we wrap this up, I see Marcian Hamabou there. I cannot leave without to hear from my sister, Marcian. So Marcian, I'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Julie. Good evening to everyone. And we're talking about sharing. Our CEO have already given off everything that we can share. This platform of OnPassive, that's what I'm doing. We don't need to have much money now to share. We already have everything. OnPassive, we have to share it. Share it. I might not have money, I have my heart. I'm sharing my heart and my love to everybody that I see. I work in the healthcare facility. I'm helping those that they are in need, because basically when you do that, you are doing something to somebody that cannot do it. So that's my passion. I share love, I share compassion, and that's a way of giving. We all have a skill. If we share this opportunity out there to everybody, we will realize that we might have people that have that money that we don't have to help other people. Just by sharing this opportunity. We have all category of people out there. Let us continue and help our CEO. He gave us this platform. He knew that he have the will and the way to do it. He created this platform for us. We just have to go out there and share it Share it with love and smile every day. And that's what I do. And I thank you guys every day that you take your time to create webinar for us. I have webinar Monday through Sunday. Every day I'm in a webinar because I still think that there's somebody out there that did not have the opportunity. I forward it to everybody I know. I stop at the street and say to people, this is an opportunity. I don't have money, but I have this opportunity that might come and help you with your family some days. I don't think about yes, tomorrow, but alone it's going to be okay. Just get in, don't worry. Like my CEO said, sit down, relax, and enjoy. And that's what I want everybody to do. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. Let us share with our heart. Thank you so much, Julie and Milo, for having me tonight.
Thank you so much, Marcian. We appreciate your being here with us. And yes, you're on every single webinar and your heart always, always sharing. So thank you for being here. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for being. Oh, Richard, I forgot you had your hand raised earlier. I love to hear from you, Richard. And then after Richard, I would like to have Michael Williams speak after. So Richard, please go right ahead. Sorry, I missed you, but I'm glad you raised your hands again.
Still love all of you from the bottom of my heart. I had an occasion on four-way lights, and there was this man from Romania, and his wife was sitting in the corner, and he was there with a sign, I lost my job, I need money for food and milk for my family. So I only had about $10, or I forget exactly how much, but I didn't have much. So I gave it to him. And then I went down the street to one of those dollar stores, Dollar General, and I bought some grocery. I bought some, because I could see it was a warm day and the kids were, you could see that they were dehydrating. So I went and got juices and some of those cheese and crackers and cakes and all kinds of stuff for them, and I brought it over. Well, I'm going to tell you, you feel good helping somebody, but the biggest, best feeling of all is when I got hugged by that family for what I did. That was $1 million right there. Just the feeling that I felt from their hearts of how the gratitude, and you could see tears. I mean, Ash is right. Helping somebody, smiling with somebody, hugging somebody is worth more than $1 million. I'll leave you all with that and a big kiss and a big hug.
Love you. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate you being here. You'll always have love coming out from you when you're talking. We appreciate you being here as well. Michael Williams just really kind of jumped on at the end of our conversations. There are a lot more that we talked about, but being him jumping on with us, and thank you for your time here with us. I know we always talk about things. We talk about several things tonight, and I know I didn't really talk to you what we're talking about, but we like to hear from you. And I would like you to wrap up this meeting with us, even though you didn't know what we were talking about. But I know your convictions of Unpassive, your conviction and commitment with Mr. Ash Mufarad is huge. So I'd like to hear from you, Michael Williams.
Sure, Julie. Certainly great to be here with you guys. It's just Unpassive, from one webinar to the next. So I don't mind jumping on here, and when we wrap up, I'll be jumping on another one, and just keeping it moving, because that's what it's about. It's about sharing the love. As we talk about helping and having that heart spirit that our CEO has. One of the reasons why I resonate so much with him is because who I am as a person. I'm someone that's always trying to help wherever I can. I've been that way from I can remember myself, from a little child growing up. I've just always been that way. It's been instilled in me by my grandparents, my mother, a single mother with 3 children, and I would see how hard she would work to make sure that we were taken care of and so on. So when I had that opportunity to help, I would always reach out and help people, even though for others, it may seem silly or why would you do that and so on. It didn't matter because it's never being done for someone to praise you or to tap you on the back or any of that. You're just being who you are. And just to give you a quick example, I remember years ago, I think maybe my second year in university, a friend from high school called me up, and I haven't spoken to him like in 2 years. And he called me up and he just says, I'm in a jam. Can you drive me to the airport? So I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. Then it says Buffalo Airport, right? So which is about an hour and a half from where we were at that time, and I didn't think anything of it. I said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'm available, so it's not a big deal. So we got in the car, we drove down to the airport. We got pulled over at the border, and they put him into one room, they put me into another room. And I'm thinking, like, what's all this for? And they just started to just grill, like, what are you doing? Why are you here? I said, well, and I just told him the story. He called me up and I said, sure, no problem, here I am. No, why would you do that? You haven't spoken to this guy in 2 years. Why would you, do something like that? I said, because he called me up, I was available. This is what I'm doing. No. And, just to condense the story, we were there for hours, okay? For hours we were there at the border until they finally said, like, what's this all about? Like, what's going on? They tell me that they thought that I was trying to smuggle this guy into the States. And I'm like, what? Like, why would you think that? So then they started telling me his story, that he was supposed to be over there. He was there at school and things didn't work out. He's for whatever, they didn't give me the fullness. But bottom line is that he wasn't supposed to be crossing the border. And so here's this guy that I'm thinking I'm doing him a favor, right? And I'm getting to this jam, right? And they said, we could impound your car and all this fancy stuff. And I'm like, I'm telling you, that was the most quietest ride back home I've ever had in my life because I had nothing to say to him, But the point is, that's just me. Somebody calls me, asks me for a favor. If I can do it, I'm going to do it, And that's what we find with our CEO, right? And that's what I said. So, when you see a bit of yourself in other people, it's very easy, to get that attraction, right? It's very easy to build that relationship, to build that bond, And I know a lot of us, I've heard some of the stories tonight. I know a lot of us, a lot of founders, have that same heart spirit as our CEO to begin with. And some of us, our heart has changed over time by being associated, again, it's like-minded individuals. Sometimes you're with somebody and they start to rub off on you, right? And that's what we're seeing happening in On Passive. It's just a compounding effect. And this is why it makes so much sense with Oh Bless to start it off, kick it off, lead it off with Oh Bless, right? Because that's what we're here for, right? That is really what we're here for. The CEO says, right, that On Passive is created to help us generate wealth, help us to become wealthy. But why? What's the purpose of the wealth? It's not just for us to keep it to ourselves, right? It's to help ourselves, help our family, and the excess, because there will be excess, but to use the excess to bless the lives of others, right? Whether it's your favorite charity, whether it's cancer research, whether it's sickle cell, whatever the case may be, whether it's helping the Boy Scout, Girl Scout, your local community foundation, whatever the case may be, right? It's to do that. And that's why he wants to help us to become wealthy. And that is just beautiful, folks, when you think about it, right? He doesn't need us per se, right? He could have just says, you know what? I'm just going to go build this business like a traditional business, what everybody else does, and they keep it to themselves, right? And, I will go out there and I will, donate to this one and donate to that cause and I will do it all myself. And he says, no, he wants to empower people. He wants us to be the heroes, right? He wants us to get the praise. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And they can put up a plaque, of your name, not On Passive, not Ash Mafara, but your name can go up in that hospital that you've helped, you've contributed towards, right? Just think about all of that, folks. So many people are selfish in nature, right? They keep things to themselves. They never want to share. And here's this man, a stranger, mind you, total stranger, and look what he wants to do. He wants to be able to help us bless the lives of other people, right? Think about it. Such a noble cause, right? And that's what it's all about. That's what OnPassive is about, folks. It's about us being able to be in a position to be able to bless the lives of others, right? And this is why I love this business so, so much. You have no idea, right? Again, because I may not show it, I may not show it, but trust me, right? There is nothing else that comes close to this business, And after we had this event in Boston/Dubai, India, right? Folks, the amount of calls, the amount of messages, how people are so, they just gone to a totally different level, right? People are just over the top, right? No pun intended, but they're over the top with joy, right? And they're jumping in. People who rejected OnPassive, they're now coming back and jumping in, right? Because they like, oh, it's real. We've been telling you it's real for how long now? Oh, it's so massive. We've been telling you to think bigger, right? Oh my gosh, that old blessed video, right? Look what the company, we've been telling you all about this, right? That this is what this company stands for. No other company in history has done what this company has done to date without even launching. Can you imagine once we launch? Can you imagine when every single one of us start to be able to touch lives directly? Because right now, indirectly, we are touching lives. When we're inviting others to come into OnPassive, we are touching their lives. Their lives will be changed for the better, for generations to come. That's what we're doing. But can you imagine now, when those apples, as we like to call it, start to come in, and now we have the ability to directly impact somebody's life forever, be able to take somebody off the street, be able to put food on somebody's table, right? And not just do that, but also teach them, right, how to be able to take care of themselves. Can you imagine, right, the feeling? Richard, you talk about getting that hug. Can you imagine the amount of hugs you're going to be getting? You understand? Folks, this is an incredible opportunity. I love the journey. I love every single one of you, right? I can't wait for us to have that mega event, right, where it's not just 20, 25, but to have thousands of people coming together, right? We're going to be shaking up wherever that location is going to be. We're going to be shaking up that city, okay? There's no doubt about that. OnPassive is a movement, and it's a movement that cannot be stopped because God says it will not be stopped. I honestly believe that. We are on a roll, folks, so let's just keep on moving it forward. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. OMG, I love it. What a beautiful wrap up. You just came on and you just wrapped up the whole meeting for us. Thank you so much for being here. Marty, love what you support us every single time. Thank you so much for being here. Chris Johnson, thank you for being my supporter behind the scene and also the Julie and Milo show. Thank you, Michael. You're amazing. And your speak always full of convictions, and you just wrapped it up beautiful. Thank you, Lynn, for being here and supporting with the Zoom here. Thank you, Dan Street. I mean, I can name every single one of you, but I'm going to stop because I know we went really over the time. I appreciate everyone for being here with us. Please continue to do it. If you think it, do it, right? Don't let the fear, don't let others people comments bug you. If you think it, take the action, right? Because if you don't do it right away, if others comments, other feelings, the undoubt, the fear within you kicking in, it's going to stop you. So think it and do it. And as Mr. Ashmufar said on the video we played today, go do something good for other people. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Milo apologized for him not being able to come in because of his network there, but he always appreciate you. Without you here, there's no Julie and Milo show. Please remember that. We appreciate you always tuning in. Everyone who watching on YouTube right now, we appreciate that you are watching, tune in from YouTube. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, click the bell, getting notifications, because we do this every day. Yes, we do. We do this every day. Thanks so much, everyone. Good night from Orange County, California.
Good night.
Good night. Milo, you should have said good night.
Love y'all.
Good night, everybody. Love everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, Miss Julie. Good
English
night.
land.
See you at the
From
top.
Maryland.
Good night,
Thank you.
everybody. Good night, everybody. See you guys
Good
later.
night.
See you soon. My daughter's calling.
See you at the very top.
Take care of yourself. See you at the top.
Thank you, Julie. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye, Julie.
At the
Appreciate
next
you.
top.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Bridget. Thank you, William. Thank you, William. Shalom, William. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Lynn. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Chris. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the bus.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. Good night.